Hey guys, we are back with another show. It's a TRANSworld Podcast, and tonight it's just Malik and I, and we're going to talk a little bit about some things that we've experienced, and I know that some of you probably have experienced the same things. I'm your host, Raquel, and my co-host, the handsome Malik. He's going to talk to you guys about current events, and he's going to give a shout out before we jump into our topic for tonight.
So actually, I want to go around to Beyonce because that's the hottest topic that's going right now with everything that she's doing, besides giving a concert, the contributions that she's giving to the cities that she's visiting, such as paying over 100 and something thousand to the transit system to ensure that her fans get home, bringing in all the LGBTQI guests, representing the ballroom families age, doing the death drop. So I just want to give a shout out to Beyonce, who is loving our community. So just shout out to Beyonce.
You know, another cool thing she did was she gave 12 small businesses in Atlanta $10,000 each.
Yes.
And that was really cool as well. She has definitely been very active in our communities and pouring back into our communities. I think for us, it's important that, like you just did, we recognize the efforts, because we don't necessarily have people running into our communities doing what she's doing.
Correct.
Yeah. So big shout out to B. I went to the concert on Friday night, and my God, I'm inspired to be better. I remember, I've seen B 6 times. I remember when she was playing in Coliseums, 20,000 seats, and to be in an arena with 72,000 seats and 3 nights back to back and selling each show out. It's just a testament to working hard, starting from somewhere and doing the work so that you can open up a world tour with 70,000 people in an arena 3 nights back to back. She sold out every show that she's done on this tour, and it is nothing short of perfection. As I said this to someone, I don't know what perfect is, because I don't necessarily believe in perfect, but if there is a definition of perfect, Beyonce and Renaissance is it. It was perfection.
Yes. Oprah basically said the same thing. She was basically lost for words, and she's blues godmother.
Yeah.
So if you leave Oprah speechless, you've done something.
Yeah. It was something to see. I mean, the energy, her spirit, her voice, the production. She did 31 songs, and I think she had 9 or 10 changes. It was amazing. It was amazing. I think for those of us who didn't get a chance to see Michael Jackson, I think it's okay. Go see Beyonce.
Yeah.
I think she may go down. I think she may go down as the world's best performer. To me, she is the world's best performer. And I've seen all of Michael Jackson's shows, I wasn't physically there, but, seen them on when they were recorded. And I'm telling you, man, it was crazy out there. It was crazy. But we'll move on.
Mute 71 plus thousand people.
Yeah.
At one time.
Yeah. Crazy, man. But big shouts to Beyonce. Tonight we're going to talk about divorce and finding love after divorce. Both Malik and I have been divorced. I've been divorced once, and I'm going through my second. But before we jump into our topic for tonight, we always want to let you guys know that we lead with love on this show, and it's a safe place for us to talk and communicate. We have lots of conversations around love, mental health, physical health, supporting our community. And we love to share these topics with you guys, and we are open to taking topics that you want us to talk about and bring guests in to talk about as well. So if you have a topic, don't hesitate to reach out to us, jump in our DMs, and let us know. But like I said, today we're going to talk about divorce and finding love after divorce. Malik, like, you've gone through a divorce and you were married 20 years. My first marriage was 6 years. My second marriage was 5. Talk about like, one, it requires work to stay married, and people are always evolving and changing, and you have to change and evolve together if you're gonna make it work. But like, after being married for 20 years and getting divorced, that's a huge life change, right? Even if because you're friends, you share so much. For 20 years, it's like, I haven't done anything for 20 years but live. Yeah. Talk about just how do you pick up the pieces? How do you move on? How do you regroup? What does life look like after being married 20 years?
Well, it starts with having faith. Of course, you know that I'm a man of faith, and I just clung to that, and I just moved forward. Now, was it easy? No, it wasn't, because that was basically my life. I mean, really 20 years. So with one person. So no, it wasn't always easy. I wouldn't sit here and say, oh, it was cool. Yeah, we good, we friends. But no, I cried. I went through a period where I wanted to mend our marriage, but we grew apart, and it got to the point to where one day God said, let her go. Everything gonna be all right. And I'll never forget that. And when I heard that and I did what was instructed to do, I've been all right ever since.
Yeah. Faith is important. I think for me, my first marriage, I have a couple things that are deal breakers for me. I have a few that are deal breakers for me, and those that I'm in a relationship with. And one of those deal breakers happened. And it was that simple. Overall, my first marriage was a really good marriage. It was better than most I've ever seen. We co-parent very well together. We have 2 kids together. But one of my deal breakers happened, and that was that. And I promised myself as a child, I had a really tough childhood. So in foster care for some time. And I remember being suicidal during this time that I was in foster care. And, I had promised God, I said, if you get me out of this, I will always make the choice to be happy and to live a full life. And anything that takes away from that, I'll walk away from if you just let me survive this time frame. So I'm a ninth grader at this time with this prayer. Most kids don't go to foster care at that age. Most kids are very young when they go to foster care. So it was a huge deal. But like I said, I said to God, like, once I tried to take my life and, thank God it didn't work. I just remember saying, if you get me out of this, I will spend my life being happy. So my deal breakers are just that. And everybody has different deal breakers. A lot of people say cheating is their deal breaker. That's not mine. I mean, that's just not one of mine. I get it sucks to be cheated on, And my second marriage, I did get cheated on in my business. So it was devastating, but nonetheless, it's just not a deal breaker for me. But my first marriage, one of the deal breakers happened, and I moved on. My second marriage, I'll say, it just wasn't what I thought it was. I had given everything I had, made adjustment after adjustment, and I got to a place where I adjusted so much I wasn't recognizing who I was. And the deal breakers were happening, but in a different form, in a form that I'd never experienced before. And it was devastating. It was stressful. It was, all my friends were like, are you okay? Like, you just look so unhappy. Like, is everything okay with you? I was getting that all the time. And of course, I wasn't telling people, my marriage it feels like hell on hell 2.0. I didn't say that. But, I just said, yeah, I'm good, But the reality was I was dying. I was suffocating. But I was trying to make it work because I loved her and I felt that it could work, but it takes two people. So when one person doesn't want to do the work, then it's over. Like, we went to therapy. And therapy was something I pushed for because, like I said, I was trying to do everything I could to make my marriage work, but she wasn't there for the right reasons. Matter of fact, she got up and left therapy. And so that I should have been done then, but I kept trying. And like I said, it was devastating. It happened at a time where I had a lot of moving pieces going on. I was heavy into my film career. My kids were going through all this mess as well. So it was just one of those things where it drained me. It drained me completely. So when I think about love after marriage, especially the second one, I can't really wrap my mind around marriage again or a very serious relationship because that one was so devastating.
So what was it about her in your second marriage that you felt would be different than your first marriage?
Well, the one, you learn a lot, right? You learn a lot about yourself when you're married. You learn how to give more. You learn how to bid a little more. So I think I was just a better person overall and more equipped. I had tools in my toolbox the second time around. I knew how to take my ego out of it. I knew how to take my pride out of it. And then you learn to give. So I think for me, the biggest thing in my second marriage was I was completely in love with her. But I'll say this, I wasn't in love for maybe the last 2 years because it was hell. But I loved her and, I love her still. But in love, no. Love, yes. I think when you love somebody, it doesn't go away. It may look a little different, but when you truly love someone, it doesn't go away. And I wasn't being loved either. I was, like I said, it was horrible. But the biggest thing was I had tools in my toolbox from my first marriage, and being single. I was single 3.5 years before I met my wife. So I'd taken the time to heal. I'd taken the time to pour into myself. I didn't have any baggage going into the second marriage. So I think for me, the biggest thing that was different is I had tools in my toolbox that I just didn't have the first time around. I think if that deal breaker hadn't happened in my first marriage, I would have never gotten divorced, to be honest. But I don't know. I think that's the only thing I can really say, like the difference between marriage 1 versus marriage 2 is I had tools in my toolbox that I could use and pull from to navigate the second marriage better. You are more recently, you moved on, you're dating someone else, you're happy, you're in love, you're thinking about marriage again for the second time. For me, that's scary, right? It's very scary to think about marriage, but I don't even know if I could handle marriage again, but just the thought of being in a serious relationship is very taxing on me mentally. Mentally is very taxing. So I don't know if I'm in a headspace to do what you've done, right? To move on, be in a relationship with someone else. find love, be ready to be married again. I don't know if that is for me anymore. That's right now, that's kind of a muted situation. I can't imagine this last go around for me was like I said, devastating, was heartbroken. And I grieved, I went through a grieving period. And sometimes, I still find myself missing her. And then that kind of makes me feel crazy because, like, why are you missing her? This was horrible. Like, but we're human. And I remember the good things about her, not just the not so good things. I remember the good things. I remember the good moments. And those are the things that I miss. And of course, I don't miss the bad parts of it, but I do miss the good parts of it. So I believe in love, and I think love is very powerful. I think when you're with the right person, love is a cure for many things, but it has to be with the right person. You have to be loving the right person. The right person has to love you for it to really do what it's supposed to do. And I think love can change almost anything. So I'm super excited when I see people like yourself who's moved on and who's found love and ready to jump the broom again. I think it's beautiful. I think it's very inspiring. I just don't see that for myself anymore. I can't see that for myself, but nonetheless, there is life after divorce. I think you have to take care of yourself mentally, take care of yourself, go to therapy if you need to go to therapy, get help, have somebody help you navigate the grieving process. Because even if you want to be out of a relationship, you still go through a grieving process because, you've spent X amount of time with this person. So I think you just have to take care of yourself mentally, put yourself in the best situation possible, stay positive, of course, because, you never know. I may need the love of my life. Sure. I don't know if I'm very open to that, but, of course it's possible. But right now I'm not open to it. I'm still healing. I'm still getting over, the second marriage. I don't think, excuse me, you, talk a little bit about your new love and what that has been for you.
Like you said, you find things or you learn from past relationships. And so I taking tools from my last relationship. I have more empathy now. I believe I like that. And that played a part of some of the demise in my relationship because I lacked empathy. I'm just intentionally trying to do better and not, bring any of the things that didn't work in my last relationship into this relationship.
Gotcha.
And every love is different. Of course, this is very different for me, but the type of love that I have now, I've never experienced it. And it's not to say that in my last relationship, I wasn't loved. It's just different. It's different because we are connected spiritually, which is one of my number one things. That's something
that's important. I didn't have that in my marriage to the last woman I was married to. I didn't have that. She was not connected spiritually, and we never connected spiritually, which was probably a damn red flag immediately. I remembered, like, I would pray, I would be in prayer or listening to gospel, and it would bother her. It would annoy her. It would get under her skin. So I should have known then That just wasn't where I was supposed to be. When your worship bothers the person you're with, you're not with the right person.
That's right. Yeah. So I don't know. It's different, and I've learned things, and I'm learning new things every day to make me a better person, to make me better for this relationship. My best advice to anyone is that you always take tools from your last relationship. You can learn from them. I mean, it could be bad tools, it could be good tools, but you learn how to do things different with those tools. So I don't know, it's different. I love her. I'm in love with her. I'm going to marry her. And I never saw this coming, I mean, when you're with someone, you feel like you're going to be with them for the rest of your life. You never think that you're going to have to do a divorce or anything like that. So, yeah. But here I am, and moving forward, this is where I want to be. I'm all in. Yeah, that's where I am.
That's awesome. So I'm obviously going to be cheering for Malik and this newfound love for him. I'm still a work in progress, but for those of you that are going through a bad breakup or going through a divorce, the one thing I can tell you for sure is you will be okay. You will be okay. You will survive. It's going to require some work, but just take it as everything happens for a reason, and it's all working for your good. I believe that firmly. So,
you got to be willing to put in the work. Both people cannot be one-sided, because then the burden gets heavy on one person.
Yeah, absolutely. So, love with everything you have. That's probably my advice, is don't love somebody halfway. And your heart may get broken. It may end in separation, divorce, whatever, but it is better to experience love than not to experience it at all. So thrive in the good moments and regroup when it's time to regroup.
The hot and alive. You got to date. You got to be spontaneous. Like, you got to do all the things throughout that you did to get the person. That's very important.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I tell you that we're going to wrap this one. But we wanted to share with you guys just our experiences in our relationships, because we're human. I think sometimes when you're in the spotlight, people forget that you're actually human, but we hurt. Our feelings get hurt. We grieve, we cry. So know that you're not alone in that process, in that grieving process. And whatever the case may be, you will survive and you will be okay. Malik, let's move on to sponsorship.
Sponsorships, yes, that's my favorite subject these days. So yes, here at TRANSworld Podcast, we are creating a safe space for our trans brothers, sisters, and our non-binary counterparts. We would absolutely love to advertise your business on this TRANSworld Podcast. And we're also looking for community partners and sponsors. For more information, please reach out to Raquel on IG at RAQUELRT3. You can also find us at TRANSworld ATL. You can follow me at @1gorgeous_church boy, and also go to YouTube. Only one click to subscribe to a Dream Catchers production. Thank you.
Awesome. So guys, it's always a good time at the cookout, but until next time, we want to leave you with why we do this. It's a TRANSworld Podcast. Is to educate those about the trans experience and the non-binary experience. We like to highlight the importance of equality, because we're all human. And sometimes we're treated less than human in the LGBTQIA community. We want to explore diverse experiences, challenges, and triumphs in the community, because it's important that we educate those who are uneducated. We love doing what we do, and we wouldn't we would rather not be anywhere but right here with you having these conversations. So we thank you so much for joining us for another show. I'm your host, Raquel, and we're going to leave you with love, and know that love is love. Love is love. It's the TRANSworld Podcast. We'll see you guys next time.